You're watching Bucs Breakdown presented by PrizePicks. Make sure to use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after playing your first $5 lineup. I wanted to do a little bit of a fun video today with mandatory minicamp over, and it's sort of a dead period until training camp starts in late July. I was sitting down at my desk and I said, who is up for a position battle right now? There's a lot of stuff going on, new additions all throughout the offseason, draft, free agency, everything like that. People who should have played better last year that didn't. And I was thinking, you know what? I'm sure Bucs fans would love to know the top position battles for the Bucs heading into the offseason. So that's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. Wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, hope you're having a great day today. Now, some important training camp dates to think about. I mentioned July 30th is like the first practice open to the public. So if you're in Tampa, make sure to go over there. Reid_Bartkus on Twitter if you want to send some pictures of you there. You can be featured here on the show. But rookies report the 27th, veterans report the 28th, and then joint practices on August 11th and August 25th for the Jets and the Jags. So make sure to mark these all on your calendar to see what's going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during the offseason. We're getting closer and closer to the start of the 2026 season, and I will be here giving you guys as much content as humanly possible from me, from a Bucs fan to Bucs fans. This channel is all about you guys. This has nothing to do with me. I want to give you guys the best content possible, and we're almost at 2,700 subscribers. I can't believe it. We started at 51. So if you haven't already, if you're watching right now, you get free, fun Bucs content. If you subscribe right now, and then by the end of this video, you're like, that was terrible, you can unsubscribe. It's okay. I agree. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe. But I guarantee you might like it because it's absolutely $0 to watch. We need 79 more. If 79 of you guys are watching right now and you're not subscribed, help a guy out. We're trying to give free Bucs fans, free Bucs content to Bucs fans. All right, first position battle. It's the best one and the most one. Like when you clicked onto this video, you were probably like, this is the one that has to be started because it is the nickel corner position. This is one of the things that we've been looking at all offseason long. Obviously, right now, I have it as Jacob Parrish, right? Because he played very, very well last year. Benjamin Morrison, obviously, we'll talk about him in a second. I've talked about him on almost every single video. But you see that name down there, nice little K. Scott, right? That nickel position could be a very, very important offseason battle because Parrish and Scott are the two fighting for the spot right now, right? Jacob Parrish, he's getting 50-50 outside and inside. But Keionte Scott, he is like a nickel safety hybrid kind of. So these are the two guys that I think are fighting for that spot. Benjamin Morrison is more of an outside corner. I don't want him on the inside. It's between Parrish and Scott. That's going to be the battle that we're going to have to watch during training camp because Parrish last year, he had 68 tackles, 7 TFLs, 7 PBUs, 2 interceptions from that nickel spot. He did play a little bit on the outside as well, but his 2025 stats, he did not do terrible, honestly. And he's definitely in the lead right now, like 100%. He is in the lead. OTAs, minicamp, he was the one that was in there. Scott was getting runs, but Parrish was in with the ones. So I think he's winning that battle right now. But if Keionte Scott wants to, like, not step it up, but, like, if he shows out and Benjamin Morrison clearly is still hurt because he nicked up his leg and has a leg injury right now, I'm pretty sure it's hamstring, then that spot opens up because they're going to have to move Parrish to the outside. Keionte Scott could be in there. So whether it be Parrish and Keionte Scott battling for that one position or Benjamin Morrison not being healthy moves Parrish inside or moves Parrish outside and Keionte Scott gets that start at nickel. So that's a big, big position battle that we got to look at because you can kind of put Scott anywhere. And I think this secondary, it's going to be interesting with how the injuries work out, right? Because Zion McCollum's on the outside, Benjamin Morrison could be on the outside, but if he keeps getting hurt, Scott gets more of that run at nickel during training camp. Even if Benjamin Morrison is healthy heading into training camp, I think they could possibly see that uncertainty in Benjamin Morrison, and they just want to make the official move of putting Keionte Scott at nickel and then Jacob Parrish on the outside, because Parrish said at OTAs he was split 50-50, outside and nickel. So that's a big thing to think about when talking about the nickel position. So that's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. Now, I do want to give you guys a huge shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Shout out to PrizePicks. If you haven't used it already, you guys are missing out on making some money during the sports world. Now, if you guys are looking to make some money while watching sports, download the PrizePicks app today with the code in the comments and description, and use code HMA. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. I've been using PrizePicks since 2022, so that should tell you this is a great app to use. Now you know what's going on right now, the World Cup, right? USA playing Turkey tonight, Friday or Thursday night at 9 p.m., and Team Picks is available, so you can do USA to win. That's what I have right there. Game winner, USA. Obviously, I'm going to root for USA. And then we have McKenzie for the more on his passes attempted. And then I am not even going to attempt to say the Turkey. It's Turkey, right? Yeah. Turkey's goalie's name. I'm not even going to try to say that. But I know that the U.S. is going to be playing fast. They'll be playing hard. So that's why I'm going with the more on his goalie saves. He's going to save a couple. Not as many as we're going to score, though. So Team Picks is available on PrizePicks. You can pick the winners, you can pick the spreads, and you can pick the totals. So if you're a new user and you're like, I don't know what's going on, PrizePicks has an offer for new users. Download the PrizePicks app today with the link in the comments and description and use code HMA. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, that's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks is good to be right. If you haven't done PrizePicks already, you guys are missing out on some fun time while watching sports. Like I said, I've been using it since 2022, so get down there in the comments, download the app, and you can follow me on PrizePicks too. Reid Bartkus. You can see all the lineups that I do. So if you want to do that, if you don't know what's going on, you can just tell my lineup, and that's easy as that. So thank you so much to PrizePicks. Now, wide receiver is definitely it's a position battle, but it's an obvious who's going to step up, right? It's the battle for the targets, I think. It's not necessarily they're battling for, who's going to be number one, right? Because I don't know if we have a number one right now. And that's sort of like the question that I'm talking about on this position battle is, who is wide receiver one, right? Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, Chris Godwin, I have those pictures up there. But it's sort of like a conglomerate of production that we're going to need. So I just want to ask you guys when you look at that depth chart, who is wide receiver one? I think there's only two options, right? It's Egbuka or Chris Godwin. Now, Chris Godwin is the veteran of the group, but type in the comments who you think. Type 2 for Egbuka or type 14 for Chris Godwin. Who's the main guy that's going to get majority of the targets? Because it was Mike Evans last year when he was healthy. I think guard changes, right? And I think it has to be Egbuka. I think this is his time to step up to be the main contributor in that room. Chris Godwin, yes, is older, has that experience, is the veteran, but I think it's going to be Egbuka because I think he's more talented than Chris Godwin is. He's more consistent. He's healthier. Honestly, I can count on him a little bit more. He had an interesting end to his season last year. But as you can see, 9 games played from Chris Godwin. And I know people are saying, like Baker Mayfield is saying, that Chris Godwin is back to the Chris Godwin that we know. But I can count on Egbuka to play all 17 games. And I think he's going to have a huge role in this offense. But speaking of the offense, I don't know if there needs to be a distinct number one target, right? Guys like Cade Otton, guys like Jalen McMillan, and Ted Hurst, they're going to all step up this year. I don't know if it's going to be a distinct number one wide receiver target, but I go back and forth, right? You let me know down in the comment section. This is what this show is all about. I want to know what you guys think too, because I don't know if we need a wide receiver one. People on like Nico Collins on the Texans, wide receiver one. A.J. Brown on the Patriots, wide receiver 1. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 1. I think this is going to be a wide receiver by committee, honestly, unless Egbuka tends to step up. If that happens, then he's the wide receiver 1. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So my third position battle is inside linebacker. Not exactly what you think, right? It is Alex Anzalone. He's going to be your green dot guy. This is not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the left inside linebacker position. I have Josiah Trotter there because I want him to be the starter, but there's a couple other people that you have to look at. One of those names on there is SirVocea Dennis. Who's going to be next to Alex Anzalone in this 4-3 defense, right? SirVocea Dennis, it's a make or break year, I think. Last year, 100 tackles. The average fan will look at that and be like, oh man, he was flying around the field. He's getting all these tackles. He's contributing on defense. It's because the offenses were directing their passes sort of towards him. Now, I don't want to speak for any offenses, but he was not good at all. And we've made some interior linebacker additions in the draft with Josiah Trotter, in free agency with Christian Rozeboom, in free agency with John Bullock. I added him here. We bring him back. He's going to be a depth guy. But this is more about SirVocea Dennis, right? It's a make or break year for him. His career stats, they're not that good. I know he didn't get a ton of games played in 2024 and 2023. Last year was supposed to be, all right, man, let's step it up. Let's have a great year. And yes, he's great run stopper, great tackler. He's great at that. He's a great inside linebacker in that sense. But his coverage grade was terrible. His PFF grade, 30.5. Guys, that's really, really bad. I've showed these stats before. Averaged over 10 yards on catches and allowed 2 touchdowns. Honestly, I have no idea who it's going to be, but I don't think it's going to be SirVocea Dennis. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about who it could be and who I think I want it to be. I kind of said his name already, but you're watching this show for free, and that is because our proud sponsors over at PrizePicks and at SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a great way to go watch a game, and we have a code for you that can get you 10% off your next set of tickets on SeatGeek, and that code is CHAT10. Now, today's show is made possible by SeatGeek. When it's time to get out of the house, there's not many better options right now than a ball game. Use code CHAT10 to get 10% off your next set of tickets. Now, the MLB is in full swing, and I know the NBA and NHL playoffs just ended, but the World Cup is going crazy right now, and you can actually go get some World Cup tickets right now. But if you're like, I don't know if I want to spend that much money because they are a little bit expensive, but if you use code CHAT10, you get 10% off your next set of tickets. If you want to go to a Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, they have tickets available on SeatGeek right now. Now, my favorite part about SeatGeek is they have this great feature where it's green dots mean it's a good deal, red dots mean it's a bad deal. So look for the green dots, and I think my favorite feature actually is you can see what your view is going to look like from the seat you buy. So if you're looking for some tickets for a Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, make sure to use our code CHAT10 to get 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Now, just click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you so much to SeatGeek. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. Who do you think the starting inside linebacker, starting left inside linebacker should be? SirVocea Dennis, type 8, Josiah Trotter, type 45, or Christian Rozeboom, type 52? Because Christian Rozeboom, he hasn't really been at practice. It's been excused, but he is a veteran guy who did not do terrible last year for the Carolina Panthers. He is a veteran option that could definitely be used in this defense. Like I said, I have Josiah Trotter in at that left inside linebacker. So if I had to pick, I think it's going to be Josiah Trotter just because you use that early round draft pick on him. And for SirVocea Dennis, Josiah Trotter is just him, but younger and better. I think he's a thumper, run-stopping, in the box, up on the line of scrimmage type of linebacker who can also cover, according to Todd Bowles. He said a lot of people have been talking about how, maybe his weaknesses are that he can't, that Josiah Trotter can't cover. Todd Bowles was like, I've seen it. He can. So SirVocea Dennis, that's a bad look for him. SirVocea Dennis can't cover. If Josiah Trotter shows in training camp that he can cover, SirVocea Dennis might get cut from this team. That's just my opinion. But the last position battle that I have on today's show is offensive line depth. Now, not anything super fun or anything crazy, but if you guys are diehard Bucs fans, you know last year how hard it was to watch this offensive line go through different looks, right? There was Tristan Wirfs was out for the first couple of games, and then, we all got a ton of different looks of the offensive line last year, and this whole starting group never got to go together. They never got to play together. It was always people would come back, another person got injured. My question is, how many offensive linemen are they going to keep on the roster this year with the injuries that happened last year? Because I don't know about you guys, we need some depth to make sure that Baker Mayfield has a good year this year, because I think that's what hurt us last year. The injuries in the wide receiver room definitely hurt, but guys, the offensive line injuries really, really hurt. So if you're looking at the top 5 backup offensive linemen that they could keep on this roster, and that this is the battle, is who are you going to get? Who are you going to keep? If they're going to keep 8, there's going to be 2 guys on this list that they're not going to keep, right? 2 guys, yeah. I mean, Ben Chukwuma showed that he can step in and be a good left tackle last year, and honestly, anywhere on the offensive line or tackle, left tackle or right tackle. Billy Schrauth, you get him from Notre Dame in the draft. He's a good backup. Elijah Klein, he's a swing center / guard. He can play both. Dan Feeney, he's right guard as well. And then Justin Skule, you bring back. He's a veteran guy, great tackle. I wouldn't say great, but a serviceable right tackle. We don't want what happened last year to happen again, right? You go down with a ton of injuries. It ruins the offense. It all starts in the trenches. So if you don't have that chemistry with the offensive line and continuity of everybody, it messes with the entire offense. With the new offensive coordinator, I don't want that to happen. I want to keep 10 offensive linemen going into the 2026 season. I just do, because I don't want what happened last year to happen again. Because let me remind you, if you don't think about how bad it was, I had the chart pulled up for all the injuries of the Bucs last year. I was scripting this entire video, and my coworker, Jake Chipper, walks by my desk and goes, "Oh my God, what is that?" I go, "That's the injuries for the Bucs last year." He goes, "Wow, that's really bad." Tristan Wirfs obviously missed 3 games in the beginning of the season. Ben Bredeson missed 6 games. Cody Mauch missed 15 games. Luke Goedeke missed 6 games. And then Luke Haggard, your depth guy, missed 2 games as well. That just can't happen again. And I know the NFL, it's just all about you can't do anything about injuries. Actually, you can. You can have better depth guys by keeping 10 guys. You added a great veteran option on the outside. He's 6'6", 315 pounds. 29 years old. He didn't do terrible. He's a serviceable backup lineman. That is a great option to have if somebody goes down. Promising rookie in Billy Schrauth out of Notre Dame. You get him for a reason. He did great at Notre Dame. Anybody from Notre Dame, offensive lineman, I'm in, right? He's a great depth guy. So I just think in terms of that battle, the position battle there's a good amount of offensive depth right now, or offensive line depth. We just got to find the right guys, and I feel like they'll show themselves in training camp. So that's my last battle that I have on today's show. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, that means you're watching to the end of today's show right now. It means you like what we got going on here at Bucs Breakdown. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, like the video while you're down there, and let me know if there's anything better I can do, because I am still new at this. And if you guys want to see any certain videos, make sure to let me know, because if you're a real one right now, if you're watching right now. So I'm going to give you some, if you got some good ideas for some videos, let me know down in the comments section. As always, fire the cannons.